What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review. Listen, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, they coming through. I didn't think that this was going. I didn't know how this was gonna work, but so far, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? It looks well done. I'm gonna say that. So I'm glad that they took time. You know, we didn't get one last week. I guess they filmed it last week. We didn't get one the week before. We didn't get one last week, of course, and they filmed and edited probably last week. So far so good. I'm liking the professionalism of the editing and all this stuff. So far, ain't nobody's camera and shit messing up. Girl, let me tell y'all what happened. I went out the house today for the first time in weeks. Okay, I went to the store, I should say, for the first time in weeks. And let me tell you something, bitch, my anxiety went the fuck up. Okay, just went up through the roof. Girl, I was scared. Anyway, I just had to put that out there. Cause listen, we living in some hard times. And before I truly get started, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are out there, who are strong women, who are nurturing their children, you know, through everything, who are independent, who, loving and everything, happy Mother's Day for y'all. But anyway, and my heart and prayers go out to everybody who does not have a mother to spend this day with. I'm here for you, okay? But anyway, now that we got that out the way, let's just get into this reunion. So I will let y'all see my shirt. It's a dope. Can y'all see it? It's a dope, bitch. I ain't got no. Let me shut up. I was about to say I ain't got no bra on, but whatever. Anyway, so I brought new clothes and just started saying fuck it. You ain't got nowhere to go, so I might as well just go ahead and put the shit on. But anyway, so the reunion starts off with this. They at home and they're filming their different things or whatever, getting ready. The girls are getting ready. You know what I'm saying? And the time call that I saw was 5:58, 48. I said, wait a minute, bitch. That's a little bit early. Okay, I'm still in the bed sleep. 9 out of 10, I probably just went to sleep around 5 o'clock. And you want me to wake up at 5:48, which means that they was already up. Whoever was up at 5:48, they was already up before that. Okay, listen, I woke up at 6:30 today. That was the earliest I've ever woken up since quarantine let out. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I had went to sleep around 4 something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So I was like, who the fuck I'm playing with? Girl, and been up ever since. So I'm running on fumes, all right? But I'm gonna knock this out for y'all. And then, everybody just getting ready, showing their little spots where they gonna be at and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Everything looks nice. They getting together. Then we get to, what's going to happen on the clips and stuff like that. The ladies look lovely, if you ask me. I love the white, all white. Now, when Nene was on her little video, whatever, she was saying, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence, that everybody else was wearing white and I was wearing black? Is it a coincidence? Now, did they tell her to go change her clothes or whatever before they start filming or whatever? Because she's in white. What happened? Put that in the comments if you know. Okay? Because I don't watch these girls' videos. Look, as soon as the show go off, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? I can't take it no more. Anyway, so after that, they getting ready. Everybody looks nice. When Andy started introducing everybody, they was like, "Are you guys ready for the reunion?" Yes, we're ready, and all this stuff. So, Nene, how's your song going? It's going good, better than most. I said, "Oh shit!" So we starting the shade off already. Okay, she said, "Better than most, bitch." I was like, "Oh, all right." Portia, you got a crown on. How does your her crown feels or look to you, Kenya, when you got your Miss America or Miss USA crown or whatever? She was like, I mean, for those that can't earn it, they buy it. You do what it is. Portia said, well, at least mine's not dusty. I said, all right, so we starting it off cute with the little shade and everything. They get into, listen, the part that got me before the show even happened, the reunion started, was when Marlo was getting ready and Marlo was sitting down there reading that Bible. I said, I know your lap is burning, okay? You burnt the hole in your lap with that Bible because Lord knows, okay? Marlo, nothing about you says that you even know what the first book of the Bible is, let alone the last, okay? Girl, tell me what page Matthew 366 on, okay? Or what? Listen, I ain't got time. I probably just said a scripture that ain't it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Girl, show me what Matthew at, tell me what Luke at, John, okay, Revelations, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Thessalonians, okay? Tell me what that's at, Marlo. Can you turn to it without looking at the index? But anyway, so, cause she showing up was flipping them pages like she was trying to find something, she couldn't find it. But anyway, John 3:16. So they get into it, talking about the different personalities that everybody have, their real personality and then their little, I guess when they get pissed off or whatever, different personality that comes out because of the whole, Cynthia versus 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? And, they call Nene, Nene, and then Candy Salt Bay. I forgot what they called the other one, Kenya Ken, and of course they go down the line about how they felt about that situation. And basically what we got is, a viewer asked how many times Cynthia gonna put a cent on something. She said she gonna stop at 53, 53 cent. She was like, with these the Cynthia versus the 50 Cent thing, one moment I'm called the punk, the next moment I'm called horrible, I'm a horrible person. Now, which one is it? So, am I a punk or am I a horrible person? So, everybody chiming in, you not a horrible person, you damn sure not a punk and all this stuff or whatever. And Nene was like, they was like, so who called her a punk? It was Nene, right? You called her a punk. Nene leaned in and said, correct. I don't know why the way she said it made me laugh, but hold on. And I was just like, okay, so let's just get into it, I thought they was going to delve a little bit deep into that, but they didn't. This is right when we starting off. We got 2 more parts to this shit. So, hey, they not going to give us much. The whole situation with Ken and Kenya, Kenya said she's still trying to work it out with Mark or whatever. He's out there in New York. He's feeding the hospital people or whatever, which is a good thing. So I'm not going to clown that. They was like, what's the difference between Ken and Kenya? Ken is something that, Mark calls me, and it's like a little nickname that I like. And here go Nene, girl, I like Ken, because Ken shut the fuck up, okay? Now, see, before that, they got into talking about Candy and the Salt Bae because she come through and she throw a little salt on stuff or whatever. That's what Eva called her. And then Portia was like, well, no, because at the situation, like, Candy is offer her opinion or say some stuff, whether, you ask her or if it's warranted or not. But in this situation, she had to let the girls know and let me know what the fuck you were saying. Okay, she had to give me the tea about what you were saying about me. Okay, so hey, it is what it is. And y'all saw how Eva kind of rolls her eyes a little bit like, girl, whatever. Okay, because we already know them two gonna get into it. But anyway, didn't get into the whole Ken and Kenya situation with Nene, and Nene talking about how she like Ken because Ken shuts the fuck up, and they gets to going back and forth, and next thing you know, they trading bars between each other, and Nene calls her a bitch, and she was like, oh, I'm already being called a bitch minute into the show. And she was like, and I will continue to call you a bitch every time I see you, bitch, okay? This nay. I was like, all right. We started it off, okay. I said, you know what? I didn't know how this was going to feel, the fact that they was not in the room together, but it feels exactly like they in the room together. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just excited for this shit to go on here to happen. But y'all let me know how y'all felt about that. So they get into the whole, thing with Kenya and her relationship with Mark and how that whole thing, played out and having to rewatch it again or whatever. And, she said it was devastating, it hurts and all that stuff. And right now, they are in the midst of going through counseling and stuff, even though he's in New York, they're doing like Zoom counseling or whatever. At first she had him blocked and everything. And so he was trying to reach out to her. And then I guess all that shit happened, okay? So basically, they trying to work on their relationship and see where it go. Now, my whole thing is, like a fan put out there, listen, girl, you want to be loved so bad that you don't have to take this type of treatment, somebody out there that can love you for you, okay? And you ain't have to go through all these hoops and hurdles. But that's what Kenya wants to go through. Then somebody asks about the fact if he's doing all this berating and stuff to you on camera, wherever, what the hell was he doing when the cameras wasn't there? And that is a good question. Now, it was some questions that was asked about this whole situation that, Kenya kind of like didn't even answer. She kind of walked around the block and then came back around and like, swerved that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I really wanted to know the answer to it, but okay, she didn't have an answer to it. Andy was saying it seems like I would hope that he saw himself on TV and he felt the way, how the backlash was to him. I would hope that too, okay? Because I don't want people to perceive me as a negative person or whatever. And so, sometimes when people see that, how they're being perceived by others, some of them just don't give a shit and say, bitch, that's just me. Sometimes, especially when you're being seen in a negative light, they be like, listen, I need to change. And I feel like that's what Kenya was saying, probably happened with Mark and probably was the reason why he was trying to reach out or whatever and try to make it work. Listen, at this point, she loves that man, okay? She loves that man. She wants to be with that man. I don't know if it's real love. I don't know if she's in love. But I don't know if it's just that Kenya feels as though, she's at a certain age and, this is it for her, so she might as well make it work. I really hope that she don't feel that way, because regardless of how we may feel about Kenya, Kenya is a beautiful woman, okay? And Kenya, it looks and size, if you get your personality right, and truth be told, she ain't even got to fucking change her personality, because it's somebody out there that likes that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that will like you for you that is out there. Do I feel like Mark is that person? No, but who am I? I'm not in that relationship. But anyway, moving on from that, they get into the whole thing about Kenya, how she feel about people saying that this is her karma, whatever, from her talking about people's relationship like Portia's and Kim Fields and, Phaedra, and just going down the line talking about people's relationship. And then Portia and Kenya have a little back and forth about what was said. And, because Kenya can't never owned up to it, that the fact that, she has really talked about these people's relationships, her owning up to it is saying, well, people said stuff about me, and so therefore don't expect me not to say nothing back. I get it, but sometimes you went in for no reason, okay? And it could be said on the other side as well. But you were not giving off nice vibes and positive vibes in that moment. You were being negative and you were saying things about people's relationships that you shouldn't have been saying when you couldn't even keep a man of your own. I'm just saying, okay? And so at this point, Portia and Kenya going back and forth about who said what. You said that my husband was a beard at the time, but you also called your husband, your ex-husband at the time when he gave you your dress back, saying that he was a queen from one queen to another queen. That is true, okay? But like, Portia said, I ain't finna go back to the back. Y'all can put and argue amongst yourself in the comments about, who said what. But, she was like, basically, you were saying shit, and I've never spoke about your relationship. I just said you couldn't keep a man. Okay, I never spoke on your relationship, just made the observation that you can't keep a man. And that observation is kind of true, but it don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? So they get Nene's opinion about it, saying that she just feels as though, the whole thing about her not being married before, now she understands what it is to be married and that it's more things that go along with it, and then Candy had to interject and say, I don't feel like it's karma, it's just the fact that it was a long distance relationship, and then, with that long distance relationship and, all the stuff that they go through, and it's a new relationship, new marriage or whatever, but they, despite all the stuff that they've been through, they made Brooklyn, and that is the main focus, or should be the main focus at this point, given that they're trying to work their stuff out. You know what I'm saying? That was the blessing that came out of that union. So, okay, cool, I get that. Baby, they get into Kenya Moore's hair care opening, and Nene talking about, when they said when the TMZ was down there at your hair care opening, I said the TMZ camera that she called, that one camera person that probably wasn't even working with TMZ. Girl, I don't know. Girl, you can't tell me Kenya didn't call that person and say what she had to say, okay? But listen, at the end of the day, I can't stand Nene sometimes, but Nene, I had to just sit back and say, well, you said the shit, and she said I sure the fuck did, and I'm not taking it back. And see, I can appreciate that. And you want to know why I can appreciate that? The comment was, she heard about Kenya, the egg not being Kenya's. Oh, somebody said something. This was the question. that I was like, Kenya, I really want to know the answer. And she kind of around the way answered it, but without really answering it, was, the whole thing about, well, since it came out saying that Mark was cheating or dealing with other women at the beginning of your relationship, how would you have felt if Tanya would have had brought in some woman or whatever the same way that you did to her with Paul about the cookie lady and stuff like that? It was like, I never said that he was entertaining any women or he was cheating. I just said, he was talking, it was some text message exchange between an ex or old girlfriend or a random girl or whatever who was trying to be his hoe. And I just didn't like what he was saying back to her. He was entertaining women, regardless of if it was an ex or whatever. He was entertaining another woman that was not you. And she never fully answered the question. And that was one of the questions that I really wanted her to answer. But, we didn't get that answer yet. But back to what the TMZ thing, Nene talking about she didn't have her own egg. Her and Mark didn't have her own egg or whatever to make Brooklyn. And, of course, Eva was like, that was disgusting and everything. So Eva is just over with Nene at this point. They already had their back and forth. We seen it play out in the vlogs or whatever. So, the animosity is there. But they was like, would you take it back or whatever and all this stuff? She said after everything that was said and after everything that Kenya did and blah, 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 no. No, I said what I said, I meant what I meant, and I'm not taking anything back. Now, let me tell you something. That remark was disgusting. It was disgusting, okay? You don't talk on nobody's motherhood. I feel like you shouldn't talk on people's motherhood like that. It's a lot of women out here. Because to me, it came off like she said it as a negative thing, that she probably had somebody else's egg or whatever. What if she had to go that route? So what? So what? You know what I'm saying? But what I can appreciate about the fact that she said, no, I'm not taking it back, is that she stood in that shit. Because there's a lot of people that say shit and then all of a sudden want to backtrack and say, oh, I apologize. No, bitch, you don't really apologize. You meant what you said. Nene dirty ass meant what she said when she said that shit. And I said, you know what? Hey, I can't even fucking argue with that. You was wrong as shit. She don't give a fuck. So what can you say? I ain't giving her no pass because that was some fucked up shit to say. But she stood up in that shit. Moving on from that, Eva wasn't here for it. She was like, such a grandma thing to say. Girl, next thing you know, they start getting into it. Yeah, bitch, you was this and you was that. And I was like, Eva, ain't nobody talking to you. Go rip a runway. You ain't never seen the runway. She was like, bitch, I've been on the runway and doing this for 17 years and all this shit. She said, I've been established or whatever, trying to get already where you was trying to get to when you was trying to see me in 17 years ago. She was like, bitch, fuck 17 years and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Nene told her, girl, listen, you really up here trying to make that plum into a peach, bitch. This ain't what you want, okay? I said, oh no. Time for the showdown, bitch. Child, Eva had to make it known, listen, bitch, I was on red carpets when you was trying to get there. Bitch, I was on red carpet too. She was like, bitch, I was on red carpet 17 years ago and all this stuff. Okay, bitch, I was on there. That was it took you 17 years, bitch. You ain't been on there in 17 years. You ain't even got $17, okay? I was on covers of magazine. Bitch, I was on covers of magazine too. So what? They was eating each other up, but I kind of feel like Nene, she kind of won that little read section between her and Eva. Even though she was trying to be a little bit loud, Eva couldn't really keep up, okay? Because, Nene was like, you a freshman. She was like, bitch, you a graduate. And I said, I don't get what that meant. Everybody kind of went like, what that meant. I was like, okay, Eva, sit back for a minute, because what the whole thing that started this is because of the whole situation about the egg, and Eva inserted herself into the situation. All right, they was having a conversation between. It was supposed to be between Kenya and Nene, and Eva inserted herself. So Nene got pissed the fuck off. Next thing you know, it was everybody was going in on Nene. Okay, or trying to, for the most part. Well, I would say Eva and Kenya. Because, King was like, see, this is why they call her bipolar, because that's what had happened. She said the reason why she did not take back what she said about the egg or whatever is because people be on here calling me bipolar and all this stuff or woo woo woo. And it was like, well, this is why people call you that, because you say stuff about people, you do this, and then you say kids is off limits, but yeah, you're talking about the kids and all this stuff. Yes, my kid look like my husband or whatever. If that's the case, she beautiful, is what it is. But we know that your kids look like you, and we can tell that they yours because they look like you. Bitch, I said, Kenya, was you really trying to go there? I said, well, she went there. Nene said, well, bitch, I'm beautiful. She She said, bitch, I don't know if this the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion or am I looking at white chicks. I said, y'all not about to do me like this, okay? Y'all not like to do me like this. At this point, I was Portia just sipping, like, go ahead and get it out, because y'all need to. It's been building up. It's been building up. Once again, you know, talking about stuff that Nene has said about everybody or whatever. You know, once again, Eva and Nene gets back into it. Eva brings up finances and stuff like that, and who got Nene in a foreclosed house or whatever. She's been foreclosed on or whatever. I ain't never been kicked out and all this stuff. Okay, I got a house and all this stuff. Portia was like, I thought you said you want to go bring up finances. You the one that brought up the finances and shit like that. So I guess that shit is on the table now. Okay. She was like, well, I got my house and if I ain't had no finances or whatever, who can get $1 million house in their home? And I was with Portia at this point. Okay, bitch, you got a home. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? It's an accomplishment given what you've been going through, but good for you. Like she said, they have been talking about her finances since before she got on this show, since she got on the show. But, you know, so Eva feel like she got something to prove. So that's why she happy about the house or whatever. But at this point, you know, Eva and her stuff, I was just like, girl, at this point, what the fuck did Portia say to Eva? And she was talking about boobs, and then Portia said, your titties look like they social distancing with them old ass saggy titties or something. They look like they social distancing. I fell the fuck out. Girl, I said, why are they like this? This is entertaining me because I haven't had no entertainment all weekend. I've been bored all weekend. So if I seem like I'm probably into this a little bit more than I should be, it's because I'm bored, bitch. And this is good to me for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting for the mess, okay? So I'm not even complaining about all the shade and shit that's going through. You know, next thing you know, Cynthia started talking about the fact that Nene had said some things about, you know, her relationship to Mike was fake and all this shit. And at this point, you know, Nene gets pissed off, okay? Nene gets pissed off and like, y'all ain't finna be coming for me like this, okay? And closes the laptop. I said, oh no, that's the equivalent to her getting up and walking away. She closed the laptop. I said, Nene, come back and sit into the shit. Bitch, damn, we just in part one. Half of part one. We ain't even in the whole freaking 45 minutes of the episode. We only in half of the episode. Come bring your ass back. Oh yeah, and you know they brought up the whole thing about Kenya little marriage because she also said Nene also said that it's possibility that shit wasn't real because she's like, as according to Nene, she's going about what she heard. Okay, we should never always go about what we heard. We should go about facts. Okay, but she did that shit on purpose. She put that shit out there on purpose. I've never heard anything about the marriage not being real. I mean, in a real sense, people joked about it, but not being serious about it. And at this point, you know, I was ready for a Jocelyn and Stevie J Hernandez moment when they was like, I can produce a marriage license, and she was like, I ain't got it. Okay. Kenya said, no, bitch, you're not finna get me. Here's my marriage license right here. You can see that it's signed, sealed, and delivered. There's the seal on it, and there's the stamp. I said, oh, okay, we producing receipts on here tonight. Good. So they bring on Marlo and Tanya. Nene finally does come back. She said she had to go to the bathroom and change her tampon. Baby, we didn't need to know all of that if that's really what was going on. But, you know, we didn't need to know all of that. But, you know, Marlo still got a nephew. She said they can't wait to go back to school. Tanya, you know, said she baked some cookies or whatever. Boo, boo, boo. So they get into Candy and, you know, her being KMZ. And she just like, you know, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. If you see something, you don't say nothing. People gonna say something about it. If you see something and you say something, people gonna say something. It's just it's a weird place to be in. Next thing you know, they get into this whole situation between Portia and Eva. Eva always saying stuff. Basically, that's what that whole segment was about. Eva opening up her mouth and saying stuff, and then all of a sudden, what happens? She don't remember, because that's exactly what she said when it came up to the fact about her not really saying anything about Portia or whatever, doing that whole thing when she didn't show up to Kenya's little shindig with the kids and didn't bring her kids, I should say, you know, and they go through a back and forth. Here go Eva. I honestly did not remember saying that. You say this each and every time. This is like the second season that she's been on here, that she's been called to the forefront about something that she said that she has denied saying, but it's on camera of you clearly saying it. Okay. And it's getting irritating at this point, because it's just so convenient that you don't remember saying it. But when a reunion pops up, you know that you said it or whatever. So Portia and her gets into it because of the comment about the C-section scar. Portia, like, that's offensive to a whole bunch of women, like thousands of women who have C-section scars or whatever. You saying that like it's a bad thing, and then you saying that my daughter looked like my baby father, looked like her father with a bow on. It was like you trying to talk about my child and all this stuff. I wasn't trying to talk about your child. I wasn't trying to say it as a negative or whatever. My child looked like, first of all, did y'all hear that she said my son looked like her father? I said no, my son looked like his father, but I get it was a slip of the tongue, you know. But and truth be told, at first I was trying to understand why Portia was going so hard and why she was so mad. And even when Eva said, Nene said the same thing. So what are you talking about? But it was because, and I've said it when we first saw PJ in the season first started, I said that she looks just like Dennis. Up until I seen a picture of Portia when she was younger, when she was around her age too. And that girl is identical to Portia. She's identical to Portia. Like, she looked like her twin. Portia literally looked like she spat her out. You know what I'm saying? But she do look like her father, and she do look like Portia. Okay, so I was like, Portia, why are you getting so upset? Why are you getting so upset? Because Eva was using it as a negative. That's why. And Eva was trying to deny it up until she said, yeah, I was trying to use it as a read to her, not the baby. But she was using it as a negative. Okay, and Andy even had to call it out on the whole thing or whatever. They get into that, and what else wound up happening? Girl, the nappy head comment, once again, Eva then said something that could be considered offensive or whatever to certain people, certain groups of people, and that's all that King was trying to show her. And that Eva, I get what you're saying. We are guilty of saying certain things within our own friend group or whatever to each other and all this stuff. But like Kenya said, you are a lighter skinned girl. You have lighter eyes. You have a different, straighter texture hair. And for you coming out your mouth saying that about most of them women that's on this cast that are darker skinned, that have coarser probably hair, you know what I'm saying? That could be offensive. And especially to some of the viewers. We are in a year and a day and a time of heightened sensitivity, and we have to be careful what we say, whether we meant it or not. And that's all that they was trying to get to. And Eva, she was like, yeah, I know that, but still, whatever. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I have to say or do. I was like, oh, okay, girl. Okay. So then they get into this whole situation between the friendship between not Kenya, but Nene and Wendy Williams, and what that was about, and as they're good and where their status at. And Nene just simply said we're in a neutral place. And I already told her if we had some issue or whatever amongst each other, I would never go on social media and talk about it. I'll come to her, and that's how it is. And I'm not talking about it amongst these girls. And so at this point, that's when Kenya want to come out and say, I feel like it was a fake relationship, and it's just beneficial that Nene be with with Wendy Williams, because Wendy Williams has a platform. Okay, it's not a real thing, and she goes on this whole thing, and we all feel the same way. Well, most of us feel the same way. I feel that way too. I do not feel that Wendy Williams and Nene's relationship is real. Okay, it is a relationship out of convenience. You do scratch my back, I will scratch your back. I need you, you need me. Okay, and it's like a 60-40, more like a 70-30 type of thing, to be quite honest, because Wendy Williams don't need any leaks. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say, bitch, 100-0 type of situation, because, like I said, Wendy Williams does not need a Nene leak. Tanya tried to take up for Nene and said, I don't think that that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was that deep. And Candy said, come on, girl. Now, you saw the whole interview, right? And you saw when she said, if that's my friend, why would I call her that person over there or whatever? No, that, like Candy was saying, it's because she has a platform that can benefit Nene. She can get information and all that stuff. They went in on that part, and that part I do 100% agree with. Okay. They started talking about that and talking about receipts about people being fake for friends, and Portia and Kenya gets into it about the fake friendships of, between her and the apology that Nene was going around giving, saying that basically the apologies wasn't real. And then Kenya being on after show, they showed a clip of her being on Candy Show, whatever, talking about, it was fake or whatever. And, you know, she want to know how come it is that you can give her an apology and you feel like your apologies is sincere, but when somebody else give an apology, it's also insincere, you know. And she was like, this is your friend, your homegirl, your sister girl, your big sister, you little sister, and all that stuff, but she be talking shit about you. And she was like, I got receipts. It took forever for a fucking receipt to form, which never did form. What King gave us was hearsay, saying that she was on the phone or whatever with Nene and Cynthia, saying that, Portia is not as dumb as we thought she was. She up there finna be on Celebrity Apprentice. She up here making moves or whatever. We gotta come together and get her out or some shit like that. Okay? And we all like, that shit was old 3 years ago. So what are you talking about? And Cynthia was the only one that kind of made sense. Like, you in a friendship, sometimes we talk shit about each other. That's what it is, okay? And everybody is guilty of doing that. So don't act like you don't do it. And then Portia was like, okay, well, since you want to talk about receipts and stuff, I have a real receipt in my phone about this relationship that's lackluster between you and Cynthia, where basically, I'm not going to say it out loud, I'll read it verbatim, but basically you text me and said that, the shit between Cynthia, talking shit about Cynthia, taking her down or getting in her ass or something. And I'm just like, y'all all fake as fuck at this point. That's how I feel. Y'all all fake as fuck at this point. And let's go back to that Dennis situation with the baby. I do feel like Portia was doing too much. She was. So Portia basically said she got this text. She gonna screenshot it to Andy and Cynthia. And this all stemming from because she felt like, Kenya talking about that her relationship, her friendship or whatever with Kenya was fake or whatever too. It was a fake relationship, the fake relationship between Nene and her, and Candy had to rephrase what she was not rephrase but explain what she was saying about the whole thing about my life been hard without you and all that stuff. And she was saying like, how are you saying that? And Portia was basically saying if she would have been there, things would have been easier for me during the pregnancy and all that stuff, whatever. She was there for me when I first came on here doing upfronts and telling me to keep my head up high and all that stuff when I was crying in the bathroom. And she was there at this certain moment when I was going through it with my fiance. She could have been there for me and all that stuff. And I'm just saying that's what that was coming from. You know what I'm saying? If she was really in my life at that time. And then Candy had to put out there, but y'all was talking shit about each other. You was calling her all type of stuff. You didn't want people around. And Portia said, you damn right. You damn right. And both Nene with her was like, bitch, we was talking dog shit about each other. We was dogging each other out because of the situation. That's what friends do when we go through it. Now, I don't know if that's what all friends do, but bitch, I ain't finna dog. And then, listen, if I talk about you like a dog, bitch, you ain't my friend no more. We can make up. And when I say make up, we can go ahead and apologize to each other, but we ain't friends no more. Okay? Like, I don't do that shit. But, people got different codes of friendship and all that stuff. And, that text message or whatever was supposed to happen during this season. So, we'll see how that go. That was the Real Housewife. Girl, Portia told Eva to shut up. Shut up, bitch. Portia was drunk, okay? Portia was drunk, put that Henny down. Anyway, y'all tell me how y'all felt about this first part of the reunion. Obviously, I was into it because it's a longer review. Tell me how you feel, and I will see y'all later. Peace.